All right, so I lived most of my life in Asia. Well, actually, I'm getting kind of old now, so maybe not. I used to say that a lot. So most of my upbringing was in Asia, right? I lived a little bit in England for about 2.5 years, 3 years in England, but most of it was in Asia. I got a younger brother, younger sister, born in Philippines, born in Thailand, respectively. Then we were in China for a little bit, we were in Malaysia for a little bit, England for a little bit as well. Then basically finished up high school and college in the US. The whole idea was to go to the US so that I could play college sports, right? So when I was in college, I studied medicine. I wanted to become a doctor, okay? I got in a firework accident, kind of blew my thumb off, put it back together. It was life-changing, and I thought, wow, becoming a doctor would be the coolest thing ever because I get to directly make an impact on people's lives. So I was still on the golf team. I was gonna go to med school. Then all the doctors, when I was volunteering and in the ER and everything like that, all the doctors were saying, Johannes, every doctor in here wants to be in the golf course. What do you mean? What do you mean you want to be a doctor? Everybody in here wants to be out on the golf course. So I thought, maybe they have a point. So when I graduated, I turned pro just to give it a shot. I thought, I practiced my whole life. It would be a shame to just not even give it a go. I won my second professional start. It was a mini tour event, but I won a pretty sizable amount at the time. And at that point I was like, wow, that was really fun. Like, I want to just keep going and kind of see how far I can take this. So from there I went to Asia, got through Q school there, got a status on the Asian tour, played, as a full member there. Did well last year in the co-sanctioned events, which got me into final stage. Then I got through final stage in Q school, and here I am, still plugging along, seeing how far I can get.
How did you get into golf? Who turned you onto it?
Well, I guess my parents. They live like the expat life, I guess. My dad is Dutch, works for Shell. So everywhere you go, I guess there was always a golf course nearby where all the expats played. And because they got into it, they naturally brought me along. My mom though had the real fire to push me to become great. So she would take me to practice. She would, make sure I hit 100 balls or 200 balls before homework and all this sort of stuff.
Sounds very familiar to somebody else like Tiger.
No, I mean, maybe.
When we hear his story, there's echoes of similarities there, but you started playing, what, 9, roughly?
Yeah, about 9 or 8, yeah.
So we're talking 2001.
Yeah.
Tiger at this point is very much in the news. He's been around for 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. How much did he have an influence?
I was about 9. I didn't really start knowing who all the big superstars were until I was maybe about 12 or 13, So Tiger's Masters win where he chipped in on 16 was about the first time where it was like, this guy is incredible, who is this guy? So, and then the rest is history from there, but Tiger definitely, Fred Couples too, Ernie Els, those guys were people that I always watched. I grew up in England for a little bit. We went to the Wentworth tournament, and we watched Ernie play, Thomas LeVay. Those guys really come out to the forefront of my mind.
I read somewhere that Ernie Els was your favourite player, which took me back a little bit because he's more my generation. So you're old for your age in that Fred Couples and Ernie Els. I mean, at what point did you go, yeah, they're for me, those are my favourite players? I
don't know. I guess my dad liked him a lot. But I saw Ernie play live, right, in Wentworth, and this is back when he was he was the best, basically. Back when he was the HSBC match play in Wentworth, and I think it was the Volvo at Wentworth as well. So watching him play, that was really cool. Watching Nick Faldo play, Colin Montgomery. I'm pretty European, I guess in a sense. I didn't watch the US guys play, I watched the European guys play.
School. You went to school in Texas, went to college at Texas A&M.
That's correct, yeah.
How well did that prepare you for later life?
It prepared me a lot, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that university in the US, especially being a student athlete playing golf, prepares you for. You have so much on your plate, and you're pulled in so many different directions, whether it's friends, academics, sports, The classic is, you have three things, friends, school, sports. Out of those 3, you can only pick 2 things, right? So a lot of people pick sports and friends and school goes down the drain. And then some people go, well, I can't do that. So it's all about time management, and it really set me up well to have more discipline, I guess, when you turn pro, to kind of have all your eggs together, I guess is how you would say.
You've travelled the world, and a lot of it with your wife through Asia and Europe. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what's that been like?
It was really fun, you know. Professional golf, it can be stressful at times, especially when, it's not going your way, because it is just you. You can't sub yourself out for someone else, like, hey, my bucket game isn't good. Get loose and come in here and hit the shot for me, like you can't do that in golf. So when Angela came and caddied for me, and for about a year and a half or so, it made it fun, I guess you could say. It took away from the business side of things. It took away from the like, we need to have this many good finishes, you need to make this much amount of money. Instead, it was just playing golf, hanging out, going to a different city, exploring the city. It just made it a lot more fun, and really helped actually mentally.
Can you relate to people like Lee Westwood, who's had Helen on the bag for 2 years, and he said it's just given him a whole new perspective on how to approach the game?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, a professional caddy definitely is, a crucial element to your team. But sometimes, like, if you don't have any more fun or anything like that, and you just want to relax, like having a significant other on the bag, it just makes it, like, in a sense, it just diffuses the whole situation and kind of lets you just play. And I totally understand why he's doing that.
Tell us a little bit outside of golf. What's your favorite sports?
Well, growing up, I watched a lot of soccer. Now I live in the US. I watch a lot of college football. Watch a lot of basketball. But college football would probably be my most favorite one.
Is there a team?
Yeah, Texas A&M. Yeah, my team, 100%.
Outside of golf as well, what are we looking at? What's your favorite interest? I mean, it can be passions, not even sport.
Yeah, no, I play music. I play the guitar. I play the piano. Play a little bit on the drums. I like to read a lot. Me and my wife, we own a gym now, so when I'm at home, we have this gym called F45. It's an Australian franchise. Mark Wahlberg, he's a big proponent of it, I guess. So we own one of these boutique fitness gyms. So I guess lately at home for the past year, I've been Coach Jay at the gym. I'm running classes, I'm coaching. So that's been a lot of fun too, doing that. That's probably why my wife's not on the bag this week, because she's running the show back home doing that. So whenever I'm home, yeah, I'm Coach Jay for about 2 hours of the day.
You've got a very cool Instagram. It's nice that as well, not only are the pictures great, but it's very selective. You're not there every other day posting something. Tell us about some of the stories in there. I know there's one which is very touching, because I was there to witness it, where you're there with your caddy when you got your card through Q School. There's 2 or 3 very cool pictures. What was that like? Yeah,
getting my card through Q School, I mean, that was just Q School is always a very emotional week. It's high stress for everyone, right? Maybe not as much for me, I like to think, because I already had an Asian tour card. I have a job essentially already lined up. But start of the week, after the first 2 rounds, I was in it's third from last. And then it's 6 rounds, so the first 2 were really bad. The next 3 were really good. They were like 66, 65, 66. And all I could think of going to the final round was, you have done so well. It is going to sting if you don't get it. Like, to make it this far, to fight this hard, to come this far back, if you fall 1 or 2 or 3 short or whatever, it is going to hurt so bad. It's basically such a big tease, right? And I shot 3 on the back, which got me in by 2 shots, but just making par on the final hole, like, I mean, I tried my best to I'm a pretty calm guy, so I tried my best to keep my emotions in check. But finally, when I made par on the final hole and I knew it was done, just like the emotions just completely overwhelmed me. And plus, because playing the European Tour is such a big dream, and in a sense, like, you're so afraid to lose these things when they're in your grasp almost. So finally, like I said, when I got it, it was such a big relief.
I know it's a tough question, but if you could go back to just before turning pro, or even collegiate golf, what advice could you give yourself back then, and which would maybe aid people looking in your shoes back then who were looking to turn pro one day?
Oh man, I don't know. I did a lot of things right. Like I always tell people, go to college and play college golf. All the best amateurs in the world, they're all on a college team somewhere. Even if it's just for 1 or 2 years, you just have to do it once. mainly also because it's an experience that you will never experience anywhere else in your life at any other time. So I went to college. Maybe I would say to, well, I think my parents would hate me saying this, I do regret how hard I studied, you know, but at the same time, I'm trying to go to med school, so you need, you know, like really good grades, really good test scores and everything like that. But now knowing that, I wish I would have gone, hey, big guy, you should not have studied so hard, you should have focused more on golf.
See what he does here. It's a pretty simple chip and run.
Voice of Julian Tart, who, as I mentioned, is out on the course, and that is exceptional from Johannes Veerman.
If you can pinpoint it, what's the one coolest thing about being on the European Tour?
I would say the amount of countries and different cultures you travel to. Asian Tour, you travel to a lot, but it's mostly in Asia. But on the European Tour, you travel to Europe, you travel to Australia, you travel to South Africa, you travel to Asia as well because of it. And I mean, the coolest thing and that I think about it is everybody loves good food, music, and sports, right? Everyone loves that. That doesn't matter who you are, but depending on what culture you go to, everyone has their own version of it. So it's nice to go to Spain, or go to India, or go to South Africa, or go to whatever, and just see what is it that they love to eat? What is it that they like to listen to for music? What sports, you know, gets them going? Because we're all the same, but it's just really interesting to see like how their culture does it.
To watch another European Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.